Hello, 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 everybody. I am excited to be back here with you again. I am, of course, going online, doing the technical things first before we really get started. Tonight, we are going to go over, we're going to try to do what I missed last night. As you can see, I have my screen and video loaded because I was prepared, more prepared today than I was yesterday. And so I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty proud of myself. So we're going to do a take 2 on that. Okay. All right. So give me a second. Let me get my technical stuff together. Uh-oh. Y'all probably hear me on here. If you're joining, definitely drop in the comments. Let me know where you are. Let me know that y'all are here. All right. Give me 1 second. Got to do some other stuff. I want to go over everything. I will tell you this is that this is a condensed version of what's inside. So I'm going to play the video here in a second, just as soon as I can get finished with the technical things. Go ahead and drop in the comments if you're here, if you're watching. Also, let me know if you have any questions in the comments as well, because I want to make sure that I get all of them answered. Okay. All right. So I am done with that. So let's go ahead and jump into this video that I'm going to play. I'm going to put myself on mute again. Put your information in the comments if you have any questions. All right. So bear with me. This is my first time trying this, but it's going to work.
Hello. Okay, so this is the walkthrough. As you can see here, this is the sales page. This video, I give you a ton of information on what the School of Magick covers. If you don't want to watch the video, you can definitely read down here. And so when you're ready to purchase, you could just click one of these buttons here, and then this will take you to the order form. Okay. In this order form, you just add in your information. You can split this $199 up either through Afterpay, Affirm, or Klarna, which is over here. And when you are done, you click on Complete Order. Now, I'm not going to walk through the order form, but what I will tell you is that you're going to get an immediate email giving you full instructions on how to access all of the goodies that are located inside of the School of Magick. Now, in that email includes this link. This is where you will come in and you will subscribe to my communities, and you will enter in your login information here. You would create one, and then let me show you what happens next. And then here you can see this is what it will look like when you're on the inside. So when you are ready to click on and go to the information inside, this is what it'll look like. It'll look a little different. This won't be there on your screen. This is because this is my administrative screen. But as you can see, there is a Start Here module that gives you full instructions on what it is that you're to do. So that way it's like it kicked me out. So hold on a second. Okay, so we're back. All right. Now, in this Start Here module, you'll have, welcome to the School of Magick, a welcome message. You'll have, how you want to decide how you want to use the School of Magick, whether you just want to strictly learn, or you want to market it, or you want to do both, which is totally doable. How to navigate the curriculum. I have community guidelines in here, where it outlines what's the difference between master resale rights versus private label rights. And that way you can understand that good. All right, and so in the Set Up Your Store section, we have different terms and definitions, because sometimes I use jargon that you may not fully understand. If you need to understand how far you've gotten through the lessons, you could see the little ticker up here at the top. Okay. And so this tells you how to get your store. This tells you how to set up your Canva account. And then this shows you how to use the website builder, where you can do something that's super, super simple. And I will show you that. What I recommend is Beacons. Beacons is pretty unique because it gives you it combines AI with building your store, and it's like you could literally do it in like 5 minutes or less. I kid you not. I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. And I have quite a bit of information, right? I even give you marketing material. And this marketing material is what you could use to go out and promote it. So you don't even have to create something new. If you just want to use the affiliate marketing side of the School of Magic, where you're promoting it to your 7-tier downline, then I already have pre-made content inside of here. So, I mean, you really could hit the ground running. I mean, there's so many different things in here. I think I have emails that you could use. So much. Let's go to the next one. This is the Learn Digital Marketing. So if you don't know what digital marketing is, then you have 31 different lessons. You don't have to watch all of these, but they're really, really short videos. It's not like it's going to take you a ton of time. If you wanted to skip this whole section altogether, of course you are more than welcome. It just depends on where your level of knowledge is. And so the level of knowledge that I've put into the School of Magic really speaks to someone who absolutely knows nothing about any of this. So if you know some, then of course you don't have to go and access it. I'm not grading anybody, even though it says lessons up here. Just keep that in mind. All right, so I'm going to click on the Learn Entrepreneurship tab. And so this, I have different things that you can add and use for yourself, where I have affirmations that you could use. I have steps to a profitable launch, so literally giving you exact steps to make sure that your business launch is successful. I even have different videos. I have to go in and add little cute pictures, but I have different videos to help you along your journey of entrepreneurship. So let's dig into the PLR vault real quick. Now, this is private label resale rights again, okay? So as you can see right now, I have 69 different things inside of the PLR vault. And of course, I have to add the rules. And you can see some of the eBooks here. Vendor template that's actually completely created. I forget how many is on there. I think it's like 50 or 100 vendors, spiritual vendors, metaphysical vendors, different coloring pages that you could use, journals. Again, I have to go add cute little pictures, but as you can see, I have planners. I mean, so many different planners. Just look, it's a lot of different planners. Introvert planner, find your passion, product launch, online plan. I mean, so many different things here. All right, so let's look into the content vault real quickly. This, like right here, the 400 inspirational quotes. I'll just pull it up real quickly. If you click on it, then you can download the actual quotes here. And I'll show you what happens. Uh-oh, you gotta click it there. Yeah. I'll just click the PDF real quick so you can see me open it up. There's so many different quotes in here that you can go and use for anything, whether you want to, excuse me, whether you want to create little quotes to add to your content, social media content, etc. Now, here is the Master Resell Rights vault. As you can see, I'm giving you the Master Resell Rights to the Candle Magic for Beginners book. Also, the Manifestation ebook. So let's just click here. And I'll show you the PDF real quickly. This is a complete ebook. So, Candle Magic for Beginners, literally, literally everything you need to know. What from spells, what are spells, to literally how do you do the spells, how do you dispose of your work, introduction, basics, all of that good stuff. Some other learning content that I'll be adding in here is like learning magic. I do have some information in here on how to work with like Saint Expedite, working with Oya, I also will be adding more content as we go, again, because I am dropping new things monthly. We have a learn spirituality module. So if you are looking to really enhance your current path, and I have information on that with ancestor altars, spirit guides, how to connect with them, how to replenish your energy when you have nothing to give, right? Because I know sometimes we have all been there. Also the side hustles, if you want to add on, I am adding 101 different side hustles in here, where these are ebooks, and into I'm adding these ebooks into the PLR vault. So if you want to resell these ebooks, you are more than welcome to do so. So this is the PDF. Why did it open like that? Oh, I think I clicked on the wrong thing. Okay, hold on. I think I uploaded it as here. I think I uploaded it incorrectly, but it's okay. All right, so I clicked on the wrong thing. I'm getting a new computer in a couple of days because, God, this thing is just like moving slow. But anyhow, okay, so look, here it is. It's here. I promise you it's here. It's just that this computer is moving so slowly. Now, what else do I have in here? I have Learn Manifestation. I also have other things that's inside if you wanted to purchase it. I will be adding more information as far as like learning psychic and intuitive skills. And I also have another course. And as you can see, you just click up here at the top. Where I give you actually a free course that I did. As far as it's a 4-day course. I mean, you could do it in 1 day if you wanted to, but that's how I distributed it. As far as increasing your intuition and such. Now, I will be adding, you can't see it here, but I will be adding a psychic kids section where it'll help you walk through helping your kids who are psychic, because I have quite a bit of parents that come to me regarding that. And sometimes they just don't know where to go, right? And don't know what to do. And I've had to navigate that myself from scratch. So I like to offer, tips and tricks that I found out that helps along the way. So this is the School of Magick, a really quick sneak peek on the inside. Things are going to be added every month, 2 to 3 new things that'll be added. And I might even add more. I keep it at 2 to 3, where you are constantly getting a revolving door of content. Not necessarily revolving because I'm not taking out anything. I'm just adding in more and more value. I mean, more and more value. All right. And I hope you join, because this is going to be a pretty cool setup here, done for you content. All right, ciao.
Okay, I'm back. Now let me see how I could close that out. I don't know how I could close that out. But anyway, I'm here. Let me see. Uh-oh, maximize. Okay, there I am. So, yes, that is a sneak peek inside of the School of Magick, where you can see some of the things that I'm adding. And the next part of tonight's session was going over what are some common mistakes that spiritual entrepreneurs make. And I myself have made quite a few of these mistakes. So I want to make sure that you don't. And if you do, then definitely, try to regroup, try to redirect and change and change it. And also in the School of Magick, I am there to help you if you have fallen into one of these common mistakes. And hey, Dee, that was recording. I couldn't speak over myself, but I saw you. I see you. All right. So mistake number one, and I have my notes here if you see me looking. So I don't start going off topic. So mistake number one is not choosing a niche, or not really knowing who your target audience is. And what this means is that if you are promoting something, you have to know who you are promoting to. And one of the biggest things that people do when they're starting a business is that they say they want to promote to everybody. And that is one of the worst things that you can do for yourself. And the reason why is because if you don't narrow it down who you're speaking to and who you're promoting to, then the language and the jargon that you use in your promotions is going to get kind of drowned out, right? So I'll tell you, when I made this mistake when I started my Etsy shop. Well, I started an Etsy shop that was, metaphysical and spiritual products, right? And I assumed that I was going to be selling to people who were interested, whether they were man, woman, living across the world or whatever. I don't know. I just said people who are interested. And what I started noticing was that in selling, I didn't have a target audience, and I ended up, I guess, whatever language I was using and have been using, I've been I guess, what's the word, the attracting, yes, attracting a lot of people who are complete beginners who don't know anything. And that is what led me to write the Candle Magic book. And now I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess my original intention at first was to really talk to people who were a little bit knowledgeable, not necessarily advanced in magic. But then I had this whole other subset by accident of beginner people in spirituality and magic. So that was interesting. So narrow down your target audience. Know who you are talking to. So for example, with the School of Magic, I did not make that mistake again. I am specifically speaking to people who are spiritual entrepreneurs, whether they are a beginner or an established business. And so there, I have to divide my language between people who are beginner and people who are established business owners. And so don't make that mistake. Make sure all of your words speak to your target market. All right, number two, and oh, this is a big one. This is a big one. I have been here, is that you undervalue your service. Oh my God. If I can count how many times I've given away things because I felt bad. And even now, I'm not nearly as bad as I was when I first started this journey. Even now, I have to correct myself. And it's because, especially as spiritual entrepreneurs, we're all in the fields. We're the fields, right? The emotions. We're all in the, oh, we have to do good. But then I started realizing something going along this journey is that I have got to eat. And not just me, but my kids. And when I started flipping that perspective, I'm like, okay, something has got to give. Either I am going to charge or I am going to be, like not eating and my bills are not going to get paid. And so when I started looking at like that, I had to make a decision. It's either going to be them or me. And I will tell you another interesting thing is that when you start charging, and especially when you start charging certain amounts, you start attracting, different clientele. And it's not just the clientele you're attracting, you're also telling the universe that you value yourself and your skills and your gifts to be able to provide to the world. So stop undervaluing the gifts that you have. As spiritual entrepreneurs, we get into this, oh, I shouldn't charge, I shouldn't charge. Well, again, that goes back to what kind of decision are you going to make? Do you want to eat? Do you want to pay your bills? Do you want to live, at least at bare minimum comfortably? And if that's the case, then you have to change something in your mindset. We do not have to live in a poverty space just to be a spiritual entrepreneur. I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to repeat it. Is that we do not have to live in poverty to be a spiritual entrepreneur. The universe and the world is designed to where money flows. And a lot of times when we as spiritual entrepreneurs get stuck into that poverty mindset, it's that we're thinking money is evil, right? And so we have to wash that completely from our subconscious and our conscious mind, is that money is not evil. It's just that some people are, right? And if you're not one of those people, then money is not going to be evil. You know what you want to do with your money. For me, and this is a way to help you change that mindset, is that what will you do with your money? For me, not only do I want to be able to travel the world, of course, with my family, live comfortably, but I also want to give back. I don't necessarily want to give back to large organizations. Like giving back to the person down the street is good enough for me, or giving back, to somebody that's helped me along the way, right? And just give that to them so that they can feel good and I feel good and everything feels good. Everything is lovely. All right. Now, this kind of goes into our third one. Number two goes into our third one, is that you don't look at what you're doing as a business. And I've made this mistake. I told you all these mistakes I've made. You have to look at what you're doing as a business. I know at this moment it might feel like a hobby, but I promise you, when you switch the this is a hobby, or this is just something that I do, or whatever, whenever, and you switch it to focusing it as a business, it does something with the attraction of clients. If you're not looking at what you're doing as a business, then you're never going to have anything to grow along the way, right? Because a hobby is just a business is okay. Do you have, your articles of organizations together, LLC, whatever? Do you have a business bank account, right? Do you have, and once you start establishing all of that, then you can start going into like the business loans and things like that. So it gives you the ability to grow. It gives you and if you want to grow, then that is the avenue that you need to go along with. And number four is ignoring branding. I can't tell you how many times I have changed branding over the years. It's okay. I'm not like judging myself, but I will tell you, I've changed branding so many different times. And that's just because that goes along with the journey, right? Of figuring out what it is that you're exactly doing. Because I can tell you this, when I started this whole entrepreneur journey, I didn't really know what I was doing. I just kind of jumped out there and was like, hey, I'm here. This is what I'm doing. Let's see how this goes. And nothing's wrong with that. That's just the type of person that I am. And I will also tell you too, if that is not the type of person that you are, and you are strictly planning, don't get caught up in I'm going to plan to death and I never start. So you need to find a balance in between the two. And going back, talking about branding is not just the colors, it's not just the logos. Everything that I'm talking about really goes into branding. Target audience goes into branding. Your language that you speak to others, your target audience goes into branding. Colors and fonts and all that stuff, it's great. It's beautiful, right? But make sure everything falls along seamlessly as you go. Now, here's another one. Now, I was also afraid of this too. I mean, I also did this too, is that you are scared to promote yourself. You know, how is anybody going to know who you are if you don't promote yourself? You have got to be your number one biggest fan. You have got to be. And if you're not, then it's not going to translate to others. If people see you barely showing up, if you do start promoting yourself and you're like, yeah, this is what I do. All of that comes across as, oh, they're not really sure of themselves. Oh, are you sure that you're supposed to be in business? I don't know about that. If you're not showing up for yourself and telling others what it is that you do, no one will know. You can't expect someone else to just come along and do all the promoting of yourself for you, unless you have like a PR firm. But a lot of people that starting out in business don't automatically have a whole PR firm behind you. So get out of your comfort shell. I have something in the School of Magick that really helps to give you the courage to go live like this. I just imagine I'm talking to my friend, right? Because y'all are all my friends. I do. And it does feel weird to just sit behind a device and just kind of sit here and talk. And it's like, oh, anybody out there? Right? Yeah, I can't see anybody. I can see words that come up on the screen. But other than that, it's really all inside of you, building up that confidence, knowing your worth, and knowing what it is that you're talking about. If you have to get an outline, I am the queen of diverting off topic. But I have my phone right here and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm not, so that I can stay on topic. If you got to do that. Okay. All right. Number 6 is that you don't have a clear offering. You don't have a clear product that you're giving or selling to your audience. If no one knows what it is that you are doing, and if you try to present it and it's just kind of all over the place, then you're not really going to reach any kind of people that are willing to buy because they're confused. And I have done this before, and I also still make sure as I go along that I'm not doing it. So when I sit back and I go, okay, what is it that I have? All right. I have the School of Magick. Okay. Who is it for? Okay. This is for spiritual entrepreneurs who are either in the beginning stages of their business or they are established business owners looking to scale and make passive income. That in my head is clear to me, but I didn't start out that way. And so sometimes if you have to sit and you have to look and you have to read what it is that you're doing over and over and over, write it down, read it to someone else that you trust and see if they understand. And then once you do that, then you have a clear offering. You know exactly what you're doing. Okay. Whew, man, I'm out of breath. Okay. So, number 7, not building an online presence. Well, here's the thing. I come from that unique generation where you call Zennials, right? Not necessarily, I think I'm Gen X, but I'm not necessarily Gen X, but I'm not really a millennial. And I had manual telephones and I was in high school and I got a cell phone, right? So the reason why I'm saying that is that online presence is kind of a new thing for me. So if you are from the older generation, my age and higher, then yes, the whole online thing is it's a new phenomenon. But of course, if you're younger than me, then of course the online thing it comes pretty naturally to you. But regardless of what generation that you fall in, you really have to make a you have to be determined to learn what online presence means. And what that means is showing up consistently, putting out posts, right? If you have to schedule the post, Gen X, okay, yeah. If you have to schedule out posts, do that. You can do a lot of things behind the scenes that's going to make things easier for you so that you can flow along. But the online presence is huge. Now, I'm not saying that you have to jump out here and be on every single platform, right? You really have to look at who your target audience is and where they live online. For me, I started out on Facebook literally when Facebook first came out. If you went and looked at my profile, you'll see that I joined February 2005. Don't ask me why I know that, but that's when I was a senior in college, getting ready to get out. And I have been on Facebook. This is where I feel comfortable at. But then TikTok comes out, and I'm like, oh my God, now I got to learn something else. Well, before TikTok, Instagram, I'm like, all right, let me figure out what this Instagram thing is. And the older that I got, the less interested I became in all of these online platforms. But if I'm going to have a business, I need to make sure that I am on where my audience lives. And so, one new thing that I've started is LinkedIn. I've had that LinkedIn profile literally since it started, but me being on there, I think the last I went on there and like the last thing I posted something was like 5 years ago, and it was barely something that I posted. And even before that, it was longer before that. But I said, okay, let me get on LinkedIn. Let me start building my online presence there, right? And the reason why I'm on there is because those are professionals and people that are entrepreneurs as well. So I mean, not entrepreneurs as well, but professionals and entrepreneurs. So I said, okay, let me get on there and start building up that presence. I cannot stress how important that is. Okay. All right. Now, number 8, underestimating the value of passive income. Man, I can just talk about this all day long, but I'm not. I had a whole day of it, but I am going to mention it again. Is that sometimes we get so caught up, and especially this is generational, we get very caught up in having to work 40, 50 hours a week to feel like we are deserving of being paid. And this is something that was ingrained in me because I saw it growing up, right? I've always heard it coming up. And as I got older, and I'm like, I really don't have to do that. And when I saw that I really didn't have to do that and still got paid, I'm like, all right, yep, this is where it's at. This is it, right? And so when you start shifting your mindset, right, of hard work equals great pay to smart work equals great pay, then the value of passive income shoots through the roof. Okay. Now let's do number 9. And I am so guilty of this. I'm still guilty of this one. And it's skipping market research. So my perspective on this, there's different schools of thought on this, right? Where you have to go out and create a whole market research, paper or whatever to know all of your competitors. What are they doing? What are they doing? Demographics. I've even taken a course with an organization called SCORE. Excuse me, who they're retired executives that volunteer their time to help entrepreneurs. And I even went to the library and took this at the library. And, they gave us all kinds of tools and resources to literally, it gets deep. Market research gets deep, where you could go to the library because they have all these databases that you could go and look up and even narrow down demographics by salary and zip codes and things like that. It gets really deep. I'm not saying you got to do all that, but if you do decide to do all that, more power to you, because I just don't have the patience for it. But it's great. You should do it. And even on the skimpier side of doing market research, this is usually where I live, is, let me Google and see what else is out there. Let me go see what their sales page looks like. Let me go see what they're offering. Let me see how I can improve upon or make it better or change it or add something different, right? That in itself technically still is market research. It's just not as in depth as the whole database research is concerned, but it's still there. It's a varying degrees of market research. So find where you live on that wavelength and plop yourself right there and dig into it. All right. Number 10 is failing to build a community. Being a spiritual entrepreneur can be very lonely. And if you're anything like me, I am a really big introvert. And you probably can't tell that. Where all of my life, I have always been in some role of sales. My background is in professional fundraising and sales. And so I always had to talk to people. But it was me pushing myself outside of that comfort zone of being so quiet. If you ask anybody, I've gone to school with, they will always say I was just always quiet, because I still am. But I had to push myself out that comfort zone and really start opening up and talking to people. And what you will find when you do start opening up your mouth is that you are not alone. There are plenty of other people that are in the same boat as you. You just didn't know because you had your eyes closed. So building a community really gives you that strength, that backbone, that reaffirmation or confidence, right? Of knowing that, okay, I'm not in this by myself. And it's good to have that encouragement behind you. All right. And again, I do that a lot. I will isolate, I will isolate myself, and I have to remind myself, don't isolate yourself. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to do that. This is me talking to myself. Okay. All right. And number 11, burnout from doing everything alone. Oh my God, has this been a lesson for me? All right. So here's the thing, I completely understand, especially when you're first starting out with the business, is that yes, you do tend to do everything alone. I know for me that has been the case. But as I kept going, I'm like, I should not be doing this alone. Does that mean you have to go out and hire like a team of 5, 10 employees? No, that means working smarter to bring in more money. That means hiring people off Fiverr or Upwork to do the things that you really just don't have the brain power to do. And especially, I don't know why this is. I don't know. So I don't want this to be taken out of context. But from my research, and especially other people that I've communicated with that are entrepreneurs, is that you can find people in the Philippines who will do work for super, super cheap. So that's like my little secret. People that will work for like $7 an hour cheap. And they will do it. And I don't know why it is exactly, but of course I know it has to do something with the trade of the dollar between the Philippine, I don't know what it's called, dollar. I'm just going to say dollar for the sake of a placeholder, and the US dollar. So hiring out has become my thing. Like I will hop on Fiverr real quick. I'm like, okay, what is it that I don't want to do? Right. I just went and hired somebody on Fiverr, like for, I think I paid like 50 or $60 to do something for me for the School of Magic. And I'm like, man, I will do this all day. It saves so much time, and it saves you from getting a headache when you are doing it by yourself. So again, I've been on both sides of the spectrum, and I will not go back to burnout. I will not. Number 12, mind your own mindset work. So I am very conscious of this within myself, and so I have to make sure that other spiritual entrepreneurs, to serve this as a reminder, is that we are in a unique niche where it is spiritual, it is magical, but some people tend to neglect the mindset aspect of it and our own internal mindset. We constantly, or we should be constantly, be working to better ourselves and better our own inner spirit so that we can be able to serve others. And you don't have to be perfect to be able to help serving others. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that as long as you are working, then you are just fine. If if I thought we all had to be perfect, and if you think you have to be perfect before you can jump out and do, what it is that you want to do in the world, then you will never jump out and do what it is that you need to do in the world. So as long as you're continuously improving yourself, you can definitely help others. Okay. All right. Number 13, I'll go over real quickly because I kind of talked about it, is like no clear business plan or strategy, right? So having a business plan is great. Can I say that I've developed business plans before? Do I need to develop another one? Probably, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm such a free spirit, which is one of my faults. And having a business plan is great. It doesn't have to be this extremely formal, typed out document. It literally can be like the notebook that I carry around and I write things in. I will outline the hell out of a plan. And that outline will serve as my business plan, right? So as long as you have something or a strategy behind what it is that you're doing, you're going to be great. All right. Now, let's see here. Relying on only word of mouth. Word of mouth is a great way to market because you're getting instant like feedback from your own clients to another potential client. But you can't rely only on that. I love word of mouth customers because they come and tell me, and I'm like, oh, awesome sauce, right? But I also have to jump out here and do things like this, which I am challenging myself to go live every day for 30 days, and we're on day 5. So always have another way of promoting yourself, whether it's on live, whether it's paid advertisement. I'm getting ready to start writing some blogs as a way of drawing in clients and customers. There are a lot of different ways that you can do it, and I suggest that you hit all of those different touch points, at least 2 of those touch points more than once or consistently. All right. So number 15, really quickly, is ignoring customer feedback. You know, we have to put our ego aside when a customer comes and says something that is, not something we don't want to hear. So you have to put your ego aside to be able to hear the critique and see if the critique is valid. Now, I will say that there are some people that will come to me on Etsy and I'm just like, oh my God, okay, let me explain. But then there are some people that will come and tell me something that's very valid, and I have to go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But then I also have to make sure that I am always constantly implementing something that's going to prevent that from happening the next time, right? All right, number 8. Okay, well, number 16 is the lack of authenticity. Okay, so I always like to I always like to make sure that I am showing up as my authentic self. What you get with me talking behind this screen is me. It's me, right? And anybody that talks to me like on the phone or something, I don't change who I am. And I'm going to show up as myself each and every time. I'm not changing who I am, right? I'm not trying to code switch or anything like that. What you get is me. And when you do things like that, when you show up as your authentic self, it's going to resonate so much more on the other side of the screen. Like y'all behind there watching. Hey. All right. And the last one, which I think is one of the most important ones, is not setting boundaries. I have been in this position where I would have clients that would come to me who really wanted to take up all of my time and all of my energy. And I had to set a boundary for myself. And I also had to make sure that I set those boundaries at the beginning of whatever kind of relationship that I'm starting to work with. Is that, okay, this is what is going to happen. This is the expectations. I want to make sure everything is clear. And so now I have started doing that at the beginning. I didn't always do that at the beginning. I just kind of went with the flow and I was like, oh, okay. Everything was a lesson for me, learning. And every time something happened different, it gave me a set of rules or a set of boundary to establish at the beginning. So that way I'm not only respecting, their time and what they're doing, but I'm also respecting myself. Most importantly, don't let nobody drain you, because people will take what you allow them to. And if you want them or allow them to take your energy, they will suck it dry and you will have none for yourself. So start setting those boundaries, even in business or client relationships, customer relationships. Set those boundaries, right? Now, here's the thing. Like, I know, for example, sometimes people might say, hey, can you talk real quick? And that's a really huge one. And also too, on Etsy, I get, hey, here's my number, can you call me? And I go, before, when I was starting my Etsy shop, I'm like, oh, okay, hey, Lynn. When I started my Etsy shop, I'm like, okay, I'll call them. But now I'm like, no, this is how I have my calls structured. Please go here, book an appointment. Sometimes you have to pay for those appointments, but not this one down here. You don't have to pay. Um, Sometimes you have to pay for those appointments. And if you want to book an appointment, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But this is the boundary that I'm setting for myself. So that way I am protecting my peace. I am protecting my sanity. And I'm also protecting and respecting my business. Because again, circling back, treat it as a business, not a hobby. All right, so that is all that I have for you tonight. We are going to be live again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we're talking about something else completely different. But of course, all along with the School of Magic. If you are interested in joining the School of Magic and you are a beginner entrepreneur where you don't know what it is that you're doing, or if you are an established business owner and you want to see how you can implement the School of Magic into your current business, then drop down here, book the free digital marketing strategy call where we can get on the phone, talk about what you got going on, what your goals are, and I will help you along the way. All right. I have enjoyed